Right. I think I've watched this guy's videos before. I think it was like a radio, like there was a video he done about a radio of a man crying on a radio on TikTok or something like that. So we're gonna watch some Goose Boost right now. This was recommended by my editor. So
They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon. Will you be ready?
this is titled Mario 64 is terrifying, by the way. Skip ahead. This is freaking me out.
If there were a bimbofication equivalent to turning a normal, otherwise innocent piece of media into a creepypasta horror story, I would call it pastification. A seemingly harmless piece of media that somehow turned into
pastification. That sounds like a nice dish.
Someone's suicide, or how it's possessed by a vengeful spirit or something like that. It happens all the time. But the one pastification I never really thought would happen is with Super Mario 64. Well, I mean, I've seen a ton of it before in the past when I was a kid and I read creepypastas all the time. I mean, they were everywhere. But in the year 2020, like, that stuff is still popular? Yeah, over the summer. It is.
People love mystery. They love, like, that's why some people are so into conspiracy theories. It's the not knowing. It's like the possibilities are endless, I think.
On 4chan posted an iceberg on Mario 64 and the many obscure details of it. Many of the details anyone can point out and say, "Oh yeah, I know about that." But some other parts of the iceberg were far more obscure or downright horrifying.
Delicious
it's
cake.
Where the meme every copy of Mario 64 is personalized came from. It's actually not one of the worst creepypasta-esque stories I've read. And with the
wait, every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized? Is that what you just said?
Contributions of some key YouTubers, it would make you think that maybe what this post is saying.
Wait, when did freaking Mario 64 come out? Was it 97?
It's true. Hell, I'd roughly say 90% of this iceberg is in fact true, albeit in a vague way. And if you want to know what I mean by that, just check out the video by this.
That's crazy.
Right
Fantastic game for 1997.
But I remember his video, and it was incredibly fascinating and very entertaining. So please give him some love. It'll be in the description down below. Yet as interesting or downright silly as some of these are, there's something I personally couldn't get out of my mind, and that is simply this. Mario 64 was always scary, either unintentionally.
A little bit, yeah.
Purposely.
This map scared the shit out of me. The pianos that would like come after you absolutely terrified me.
Of horror lurking beneath its kid-friendly exterior. I believe it has to do with two reasons.
The camera angles.
Number one, the graphics.
Yeah.
The game's looks have not aged well, and it's because of its low textures and jagged appearance that makes it seem a bit uncanny. I might be speaking personally here, but when I saw that scary eel monster from Jolly Roger Bay again in Super Mario,
yeah, that reminds me of those freaking things in Zelda. I
really wasn't.
Like, yeah, there's that mission in Zelda or something where you have to follow that the seas. What's it called? The little freaking, you know what I mean? It follows that little thing around. I forgot what they're called. And you got to find its eggs, but in like each of the caverns is like a snake monster that comes out.
As awful as I was when I was a kid. It's most likely because now I'm an adult, and looking back at my childhood fears still gives me shivers. But really, compare the two. The one in 64 is so much worse than the HD revision.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I'm not saying it's not scary, but to me personally, the newer version just looks so detailed and kind of cool that it pales in comparison to the older one. This one just has this air of weird and disturbing qualities about it. It's not just Mario 64 either. Look back at any old games you used to play. Don't some of these look way scarier back then as opposed to now? Have you guys ever stumbled upon a weird glitch in a modern video game that make the characters look low poly or low res and super creepy?
There's that one from Detroit Become Human, a scene where like they're looking at a drone go by or something, and the face turns into like something from Metal Gear Solid 1. It's really weird.
It's something about the way they look, the way they move. It's all sort of unnerving and strange. Again, it could be due to childhood fears playing into our biases, but it can't be denied that low poly textures can be really, really disturbing. The game studio
Puppet Combo
recognizes this
Yeah.
and uses it to their advantage. It's why their games are so horrifying.
Fantastic.
They use this niche trope to their advantage by mimicking old school graphics into modern takes of horror. But I'm getting off track here. The second reason why Mario 64 was terrifying to us kids is simply because it was our first time exploring a 3D space. Imagine how much of a mindfuck that is, to go from going left to right to explore literally wherever.
It was
we
fantastic
want,
for a
which
game
can
that was made
lead
in
to some of us
96.
discovering fears we'd otherwise never would have.
Amazing.
From diving into deep dark oceans with terrifying sea creatures to exploring haunted mansions full of ghosts and monsters.
Poor Mario.
Mario 64 gave us the opportunity to go anywhere and fear everything. Seriously, how many of you were scared of the ocean after playing Mario 64 as a kid? How many of you were terrified of sinking into quicksand?
Yeah, man.
A lot
I
of
hated
these
that.
things might have been totally innocent to the developers of the game at the time, but these things really scared a lot of us to death. I knew some people who were terrified of pianos of all things after playing Mario 64.
Yeah, it was
Even
awful.
when revisiting this game, as I'm sure many of you are, what with the release of the Super Mario
That guy
3D
was
All-Stars
shitting himself.
collection, there's some things you'd still find unsettling. Nowadays, people are talking about wet, dry worlds, haunting background, negative aura, emotion thing, whatever. It's really just a photo of Caceres, a little town located in Spain, but something's just off about this background. To me, it was always the juxtaposition of Mario's colorful, wacky world side by side with this very
they look like freaking faces, like freaking like something from Minecraft.
city, with its cold, eerie blue washing over the town, almost making it seem submerged. Then you realize, wait, the town is submerged. The people who lived here are long gone by now.
Oh, it's all
The
empty.
buildings are all empty. How long has it been this way? What caused it to be submerged? Did everyone just forget about it? Did everyone really escape? What if there are still bodies in those buildings? The unfortunate souls that could just never escape in time. Are they forgotten too?
Jesus. Well, thanks for
Forever
depressing me,
underwater
mate.
In this forgotten city.
It's Atlantis.
These are real thoughts I had as a kid, by the way. This is the thoughts I had when I saw Wet Dry World's background. It's the little things that add up and make you scared. The small, almost innocuous details that the devs glazed over still haunt many people to this day. Then there's this stuff that makes you think, wait, did the devs actually intend to creep us out? For example, did you know that a strange laugh can be heard before you enter Boo's mansion in Big Boo's haunt?
Yeah.
Seriously, take a listen.
Good one, mate.
It's creepy, right? Most
He
of
is
you would
terrifying.
assume that
This
it's
was
just
made for
Boo's
children. What the hell's wrong with these
That's
guys?
not how a Boo's laugh sounds like. It sounds like this. We already know the secret behind
So it's that, but slowed down.
Boo's laugh, which is essentially Bowser's laugh just sped up. But if that's the case, then whose laughter is this?
Oh.
It's not King Boo because he laughs just like any other Boo. It can't even be explained as to how it activates. It just randomly happens sometimes. So if you ever want to try this out in Mario 3D All-Stars, do try and let me know what your results are. Speaking of
Well, the
Bowser,
sound's still
though,
there.
did anyone else hate dying in Mario 64? Not just because it was annoying to start the whole level again, but because it was just, well, kind of creepy. It's not like nowadays where Mario
the hell is
just
this?
dies like he just stubbed his toe or something. Mario
game was that?
legitimately dies. You can see X's in his eyes when he's killed. The way he sinks into the sand always terrified me. And drowning? Jesus Christ, why did they ever depict him drowning so realistically? I even mentioned this in the previous Traumathon when I was
This is
talking
traumatizing.
about water levels being just horrifying, and this is one of the reasons. To be fair, though, a lot of games
Just see him getting like dismembered and
did this
stuff.
whole drowning thing, though I'll have a whole video dedicated to that soon. And of course, who can forget Bowser's terrifying laugh and that scary Bowser symbol that fades everything to black, and when you get a game over, you get this real creepy red error screen with that really slow
Weird
down,
music.
super creepy game over music. Thankfully, it doesn't last very long and just sort of fades away as Mario's Viagra kicks in. Let's not forget the infinite
Of course, Viagra brings you back to life, guys. Remember that.
staircase also. I
Bit
mean,
of ginseng.
Christ, I really don't think I have anything to say that everybody's already
There's a way to glitch through this, isn't there? I think you do something, but then you jump backwards and you manage to skip the infinite staircase.
said thus far. There's a ton more eerie details that Mario 64 has that I'm sure I've missed. And in a way, this game really was personalized for everyone. What you might have found scary in Mario 64 might have been totally fine for others, and vice versa. Everyone
Yeah, the Sonic drowning music, I've got to admit, that's
had
horrible,
their
man.
own unique experience. Some of us can bond over certain things, while others will just roll their eyes and just say, it's just a video game. There's nothing scary about it. The tradition of Mario being a scary game, though.
What is that?
As that tradition has carried on, Mario.
What's wrong with these creators? They're creating these horrific... Yeah, that obviously...
Terrifying stuff itself. Remember that huge eel that was just sunken down in the very depths of the ocean? That's like so dark and horrifying. You gotta clean his teeth like that. And Galaxy, I'm sure, has its own list of horrifying encounters and Easter eggs. But if I talk about every single detail that every Mario game has that's creepy, I might just be here for
Zelda
a very
as well.
long
I'd love to
time.
see a Zelda version
Let me
of
know
this.
what you guys think. Is there anything in particular I missed that scared you in Mario 64? Maybe other Mario games that had certain elements that made you shiver? Or maybe there's something you know that most of us don't. Something that lurks even deeper within the Mario games. Something that can't be explained or otherwise could never be seen.
Oh, I used to hate that when that would happen. That's horrible, man. That sound. So, come to think of it, man, it is freaking just... They included some pretty nasty stuff, didn't they?